All right, so James has got a question for kind of doing a pullback of price, a pullback crossover of price, and then basically a continuation crossover with price over the 9 EMA. And I guess the missing piece I need from you, James, is how are you determining an uptrending market? Yeah, so how are you, what conditions, what indicators maybe, or what conditions are you using to determine that the market is uptrending? Visual, huh? Okay. Well, BloodHound can't incorporate that part because BloodHound can't use your visual perspective, but at least we can build the signal. So we would be looking for a signal right there. So here's the question. Grab that. So we're looking for price to cross below. So if so in a up moving market here, if price crosses below the EMA 9 and then crosses back above it, we want to get a long signal right there. Yeah, James, we're going to need some kind of condition that's determining an uptrending market here, because otherwise I can't block this reversal down. Maybe I'll throw in something a little simpler, a little simple concept here, just so we can kind of get something built. So let's see. Oh, so all right. So James wants to use swings. And so when you say swings, how exactly do you want to use swings? Swings are that's a very generic term. Like with BloodHound, we have a swing trend, and then we have swings, highs, lows. All right, and then we also have NinjaTrader swing indicator, right? So there's all kinds of swing type indicators out there. So we need to narrow this down a little bit. Okay, you want to use Ninja swing indicator. Okay, and so how are you using Ninja's swing indicator? All right, so let me throw the Ninja swing indicator on there. Yeah, I guess I'll just go with leave the strength at 5, the default. Yeah, so now the question is, what's your logic, or what's your condition for using, what's your rules for using the swing indicator? James is writing that out. Let me name my BloodHound system again. Just overwrite that right there. Okay, so higher lows for up, lower lows for down. Yeah. All right, so you want to use Ninja swing indicator. Okay. All right, so we're gonna work on the market trend first using Ninja swing indicator. So what James wants to look for is, so when the swings indicator, basically when it drops down, right, when the plots drop down, then that would be lower highs, and then vice versa. If the plots jump up, right, then that's higher lows. So we'll look for that condition first here. All right, so let's make a new logic template here, and let's see here. Okay, so there you go, some kind of name like that. So we got price crossing over the EMA 9 with the swing trend. Okay, so we're gonna grab a comparison solver. So as my arrows here kind of are trying to illustrate, right? So what we're doing is, let's kind of stretch this out a little bit here. So if we look at it like this, right? So here's the current bar, and actually here, let's move this out a little bit. There we go. Right, so this would be the current bar, right? So we'd be looking at the swing lows of the current bar and checking to see, is it above or is it greater than the swing lows of one bar back, right? So we're comparing the current bar to one bar back and making sure that the current bar is higher in regards to the swing lows. And then it would be the opposite here. So for the swing highs, we would be, looking, this would be considered the current bar. We want to make sure that the swing highs are lower than the swing plots of 1 bar back. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. There, let's put it like that. Okay. So let's connect this up. And so we're going to plug in this swing indicator. All right, there we go. There's the swing indicator. And let's see. So we're using the swing highs for shorts and the swing lows. And the swing lows to determine a long trend. So there we go. And again, so now in input B, we're going to select the swing indicator again. All right, there we go. And once again, we're using the swing highs to determine a short trend and the swing lows to determine a long trend. And the displacement is how we kind of get that 1 bar back. That's how NinjaTrader looks back 1 bar. It's like that. And there we go. Bingo. There is our signals telling us that, oh, we had a higher low or we had a lower high. And so let's see here. Let's give this a name before we get going too far, right? Let's see here. So this is finding a lower high or a high. Let's reverse this here. Higher low or lower high. There we go. There. All right, some kind of a name there. And next, we're going to plug that into a toggle node. Right, so we can see, right, we're only getting a signal one time, whenever the swings makes that jump there, But in order for this to be like a trend filter, we need to take this trend signal and extend it forward until we get to the next one. And so that's what the toggle node does. Is it's excellent for extending conditions forward. All right, so there we go. So we're basically in a downtrend, until we get the next higher low, and then we're in an uptrend. So, however, there is a bit of illusion here, right? So the swing indicator, it does back paint. So, right. So while we can see, right, that the trend, or I should say, we can see that what am I trying to say? You can see that BloodHound has identified, the plots moving down immediately, but in real time, this doesn't happen. Right? You got to remember this. Swing indicator back paints. So, let's see. Yeah, it's 5 bars there, right? So the swing indicator doesn't detect this swing high until 5 bars later, right? 5 bars after the back, and then it back paints its plots. So if we refresh the chart, right? So what I did is I just hit F5 and refresh it. And so now what that does is basically that kind of strips out this back painting from the indicator. And so now, yeah, we can actually see we get nothing here. So let's see if we can compensate for that. I think if I use a displacement of 5, Will that work? Yes. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's refresh again. No, it's not. 5's not working. Maybe 6 will work. Yeah, maybe I need to put that on 6. All right. And so I'm constantly having to reload the chart to basically reloading the chart allows BloodHound to run through the indicator again, kind of simulating live data coming in. So it's not really simulating live data, but it effectively it's kind of doing that. And so here we go. So now, right? So now we can see, right? That shoot. There we go. So now we can see, so that, right, the trend is changing now 5 bars later, right? Because that's how long the swing indicator takes, right? If you have a strength of 5, right, the swing indicator requires 5 bars after the swing high or after the swing low. So this is what you would actually see in real time. Yeah, so just so you know, right? So the swing indicator is definitely has a bit of a delay built into it. So we wouldn't actually get this one in time. Yeah. So, but we do have something to work with, right? So we kind of have, right? So we have a trend being identified here. So, yeah, so now we have some kind of filtering mechanism to filter out our crossovers here. There we go. So we can use this, actually, no, this isn't really going to work either because the swing indicators, yeah, the swing indicators put this in a downtrend. And so this crossover would actually get through because the trend is short, so this short crossover would actually get through, but the long crossover would not get through. So, James, this is not working out so far. But to kind of get through this, let's see here. Let me name this toggle node here. There, so this toggle node's trying to tell us the trend. So let's see, yeah. So I'm going to grab a crossover and so I'm going to at least get the crossover part built here, right? So I'm going to get the price crossing that EMA 9. I'm going to get that part built. All right, so we were looking for price crossing over the EMA 9. All right, so let's set input A to price, and then input B, that'll be our EMA. All right, there's the EMA, and that switches over to a 9 period. There. All right, so there's our crossovers. So yeah, before I can really go any further, I guess we kind of need a working trend filter here first. Yeah. Otherwise, it's really going to be kind of hard understanding what's going on here. Okay, so let me see what James has for me. All right, so James is just simply going to, reverse the swing logic here. So we'll use lower highs for a downtrend and, let's see, lower highs for down, higher lows for up. Oh wait, no. Let's see, you already put that one in there. All right, yeah. So James is suggesting, how about using the EMA as the trend or a slower SMA? Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, just to have something simple. So, all right, so we'll get rid of the swing indicator. There. And let's see. Yeah, I'll just throw this solver off to the side here. And let's grab, well, actually first let's put an indicator on the chart here first. So, just to mix things up, how about we'll use an SMA, let's see how an SMA 30 period looks. So, yeah, all right, SMA 30, good enough for this example. All right, so let's get BloodHound back open. There. All right, zoom in a little bit. So now, if we're just going to use the slope of a moving average, then I'll grab a slope solver. Let's connect that in. And we'll adjust our SMA period to 30. And let's name this solver to SMA 30 slope. There we go. Yeah, all right. So let's see, actually we don't need, we don't need the toggle node anymore. So I'll just throw that up there as well. There. All right, so this is, so that the main condition is a two-part condition. Right, so we're looking for price to cross below the EMA first, and then wait for price to cross back up again. And let's see here. Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering if, is it even possible for price to cross above that EMA 9 without a cross down? So I'm kind of inclined to just kind of really simplify things and just do this there. Because I think, right, on all of these long signals, yeah, we've got price crossing below the EMA 9 first before it can cross back up. So let's scroll back here and see if there's any situation where that may not be true. Yeah, so price crossed down before it crossed up, and price crossed down again. Although, let's see, crossed down, then it crossed up. Yeah, I guess it is, the markets can be so kind of random. I guess we could possibly get a short trend in between price crossing down and price crossing up. So, all right, yeah. So I guess we'll just to be safe, yeah, we'll need to build this logic exactly how it's worded, which is, look for the cross down first, and then look for the cross up second to trigger the signal. Okay, so we need to find a cross down first. So let's see, this and node will be the, all right, so this will be the opposite crossover signal here. So I'm going to use a long short modifier. And if you notice, what I did is I just kind of reversed the output, right? So when the SMA is in an uptrend, I reversed it to a short trend. And that's how we can get the opposite crossover, right? So we need to get this crossover in the wrong direction, right? So let's see here. All right, so using this long short modifier, right? Yeah, I'm using the swap mode. So right, so it's the default, yeah, right? The default mode of the long short modifier is just to swap the outputs or reverse the outputs here. So I'm just going to name this swap, plug it into this AND node. There. All right, so now we're finding when price crosses below that EMA 9 for an uptrend. So there we've identified the cross down. So now we can use this cross down as the prerequisite for finding the cross up in the direction of the trend. Yeah, let's see. All right, so next step, yeah, we need to take this cross down and extend it forward. So it looks like I'm going to need this toggle node after all. So actually, I'll just get rid of that and throw a new one on here. There. So. Okay, so there's our toggle node. Now it's the way it is right now. It's not going to be very helpful because we can just see right. It's just giving us a ton of signals right now. So, but what we're going to have to eventually do is build some logic to turn the toggle node off, right? To use the reset connector here to turn the toggle node off. So. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, right, I have a crossover solver, and so I'm just actually going to drop a, it's not a copy, but I'm going to drop the solver on here twice. So keep in mind, these two crossover solvers are the same one. Even though you can see two separate objects, they are the same object. Just visually, we can see two of them, right? So don't think of them as copies of each other, because they're not. You know, if we go to our solvers tab, we can see there's only one, price crossing over the EMA 9 on our list of solvers, right? So that means these are both the same object, just visually displayed twice. Right, so don't think that you actually have a copy or a new object. So if we change one, the point being is that if we change one, it changes the other, right? Both of these objects change together because they're the same node. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this right? So when we have this crossover, I'm going to use this crossover to turn off the toggle node. Right. So yeah, so just remember I've got a green arrow here for the cross up. So if we take a look at the toggle node, And also what I need to do is I need to put a delay in here. Well, actually, let me just kind of plug this in here. Let's plug this into the reset so we can take a look. And so now on the toggle node, so I have the toggle node selected. So I'm going to the reset part. And so what I'm going to do is on opposite signal, we want to turn the toggle node off. Like so. There we go, right? So the cross down, turn the toggle node on, but then the cross up turned it off, right? But it turned it off on the bar of the cross up, right? So we turned it off a little too soon, right? A little too soon. So what we want to do is we can use a look back here. And with the look back, what we want out of the look back is the displacement function, right? It's set to 1. So we know this look back is basically doing a displacement or kind of a delay of 1. So if we connect this up and if we look, if we look at this, right, we can see there's the cross down, but the signal occurs 1 bar late, right? This cross up, the signal occurs 1 bar late, right? So we shifted all the signals forward 1 extra bar. And so now, let's take a look at our toggle node. So now if we connect this into the reset, there we go. So now the toggle node's on until we get the cross up. There, right? So we have our prerequisite is we need the cross down of price, and then we're looking for this final cross up. But then after that, the toggle node is turned off, and it's going to wait for another cross down. So we can see we got another cross down, in preparation for another setup, right? So we have the cross down in preparation for price crossing back up for another signal. So, yeah. Now, if you notice the toggle node, it's giving us a short output, right? But we're looking for long signals here, right? Because, right, our SMA trend is up. So let's reverse the toggle node. So if I wanted to, I could just take a long short modifier, connect that up like so. That would be the easy way. But I always like to kind of optimize my logic. This would be definitely, there's nothing wrong with doing this. But I do like to kind of optimize my logic here. And so I can actually get the toggle node to reverse its output, right? So what I can do is, for the input, I can use on signal to force off and use on opposite signal to force on. Basically, I just reversed everything, right? And then I also need to reverse, reverse this. So I think this needs to be no action. And then on signal is force off. Yeah, there we go. So basically I just kind of reversed all of these modes here, right? So there we go. So even though we have a cross down, right? So if we look at what's going into the toggle node, right? So we have a short signal going into the toggle node, but because I reversed everything, we're looking for an opposite signal, right? So this short, right, is opposite of the long output that we're getting from the toggle node, right? So we used an opposite signal to get an opposite output from the toggle node. So, all right, so there we go. There's that. And then next, let's see, actually, I'm just going to change my logic around a little bit. So I'll actually just connect that in there like so. And then I can move this guy forward a little bit where I need it. And let's grab another AND node. So there's that and that. And there we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's see here. So this toggle node is basically the what should we call this? The pre crossover. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look here. And yeah, so our SMA has been trending up. So we're getting a lot of long signals there. And let's see if the market's been, yeah, actually lately the market has, well, this is oil. Yeah, so I guess oil has been recovering quite a bit lately, but yeah, here we go. So, yeah, we had price cross up on one bar and then cross back down. So there we go. Yeah. All right, there we go. There's a bit more of a downtrend right there. There we go. Price crossing up and then crossing back down. So, okay, so with that, let me take a look at the question board here, and let me kind of leave this. I'll leave this up before I do that. All right. And also, I guess, yeah, let me summarize. So our slope solver is what's determining the trend direction. So if you have some other way, some other design of determining the trend direction of the market, really you just need to replace this slope solver and connect your, whatever it is, so your trend, your market trend direction might be more complex set of logic, but ultimately you just connect that into this long short modifier, and that's all that needs to be done, right? So the crossovers, those don't need to be changed, but what probably I'm assuming here what's going to be adjustable is how you're determining the market trend. And so you would just disconnect this, right, and then whatever logic you've got for determining the market direction, connect it into the long short modifier here, right? And then it will all work. So all right, yeah, so let's see if there's any. No, it doesn't look like there's any other questions on this. So, all right. Yeah, so I guess, again, just to kind of summarize what we've done here, we have the trend direction. We had to reverse it so that we could identify the crossover in the opposite direction, right? So we needed to identify this crossover, the first crossover, right? That's crossing in the wrong direction. So that's what this is doing, is it's identifying that crossover in the wrong direction. And then we put it into a toggle node, right, to hold on. We need to hold on to this cross down condition until price crosses back up, right? And we don't know how long that's going to take. So let's see if I can find some good examples here. Yeah, so here's a good example, right? So our SMA is sloping down, so we have a downtrend, and price, right, crossed up in the wrong direction way back here. So it took several bars before price finally crossed down, right? So this toggle node doesn't care how many bars it takes, right? It'll hold on to this condition here. So, and wait for that cross down. And then we wait for that final crossover with the with the precondition, and we get our signal. So, and then remember, this this crossover solver back here is fed into the toggle node to turn that toggle node back off. Once we do get our signaling crossover, we need to turn that toggle node back off. So that is what this, I guess what you could say this circuit is doing. So, yeah. All right, well, I think we are done with this question.